Welcome back. The 2025 Formula One season is almost here, and all eyes are on Lewis Hamilton. Now, Hamilton isn't just a seven-time world champion. He is a game changer in motorsports, fashion, activism, and beyond.
That's right. So joining us today is Michael Sawyer, author of the definitive new biography, Sir Lewis, to give us an inside look at Hamilton's incredible career, his impact on and off the track, and what's next for the Formula One legend. Welcome. Great to see you, Michael.
Hey!
Hey, great to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for
Of course.
sure. So let's talk about your book. Why do you think right now was the right time to release Sir Lewis?
I think, it was really fortuitous. You know how long it takes to get books to press. And so after the 2021 season, I thought it was about time to start thinking about Lewis's career from beginning to that point. And had started writing, and then, obviously seasons happened after that where things weren't going so well. But at the same time, he was negotiating this move to Ferrari. So what happened with the book is it basically brackets the earliest moments of his career back to when he was, a child up to the move to Ferrari. So I think it's a great retrospective and gives us a place to get ready to prepare for the next season and what's going to happen with him with this new adventure.
Yeah, his new adventure with Ferrari, it's a huge deal. What do you think makes Hamilton such a game changer in sports?
Yeah, I think, there's kind of the obvious things that happen with just the numbers, and that's just his athleticism, his ability to focus, et cetera, right, that are just otherworldly, I think. And that started very early on, from the time apparently he was about 6 or 7 years old when he went from radio controlled modeling, when he would race cars, he was beating adults at that, to karting, where he stood out and all the way through the lower ranks of open wheel racing. I think what else makes him a game changer is much like athletes like Jackie Robinson, who broke barriers, or Ali, who were super interested in social justice. Lewis is that same type of athlete. So he's the first Black person ever to participate in Formula One, which had never had the kind of de facto or rules-based segregation that something like Major League Baseball had, but there were all kinds of other barriers, most of them socioeconomic, for someone like him.
Yeah.
So he and his family worked through all of that. He made it to the sport. So I think that changed everything. And also he has tons of concerns with respect to social justice as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now let me ask this. How does he kind of balance Formula One with fashion, activism, and business? I mean, that just seems like a lot.
He's got a lot going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, I think that speaks to the question about what makes him a game changer, because a lot of athletes will take up causes kind of after their career or as they're kind of on the downside and not necessarily focused as much on the sport. Lewis seems to be able to juggle all those things equally at the same time, which I think is a big theme in the book, to just see how he goes from one thing to the other with seemingly no interruption and no lack of energy, et cetera, whether it's being one of the chairs of the Met Gala, or it's, advocating for social justice in Kentucky, or eco-justice in South America. He's got the energy for all that while at the same time racing at the top level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
He is the definition of a game changer. And I'm just curious about, as the author, obviously you did a deep dive. You really got to know Lewis Hamilton and his career. What do you think Hamilton's lasting legacy will be?
I think his legacy is going to be much about proving out what diversity is really about. Because if you think about it, Lewis Hamilton, when he came into the sport, there was no one looking in the spaces where Lewis Hamilton would be, right? So McLaren and Ron Dennis, who was then the manager of the team, took a risk and found literally the greatest driver of all time in a place people wouldn't normally look. So I think that's much about his legacy, and he takes that seriously because he pushes for diversity and ownership, marketing, engineering, the pit wall mechanics everywhere in the sport and outside of it. So I think that's going to be his enduring legacy over and above just everything he's accomplished on the track.
That's right, yeah. Well, this is just a tease to what you cover, I'm sure, in the book, Sir Lewis. Where can we get a copy of that book, Michael?
It's available everywhere books are sold. You can obviously find it online, and also if you have local bookstores, always advocate supporting the people who are trying to keep books in people's hands in retail stores.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Thanks for
Yes.
joining us today.
Thank you, Michael.
Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
sure.
Interesting stuff.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I'd love to know more.
Yeah.